What's going on, John?
Nothing much, hanging out, being cold.
Underrated bands. Who's an underrated band to you?
Ween.
Why is that?
Does anybody know about them? Did you know about them before I brought them to you? But everybody's heard them. They just don't know they've heard them.
Why is that?
Ocean Man. They wrote that. You know that SpongeBob song?
Which one is that?
Ocean Man.
Ocean Man is what it's
That's the name
called.
of the song. Yeah. That's what I was
I
called.
thought you were just being a smart ass.
Nope, that's what it's called. It's called Ocean Man.
All right. Fair.
What about you? What about you?
It took me a while to get into Trent Reznor. You always talked about him, and I just never. I knew his music, but I never really looked into him as a person.
Yeah, he's interesting for sure. Just kidding, not as interesting as me. Fuck that guy. No.
Just kidding. Man, so what did we get into? World of Warcraft over the weekend? Pretty much
Yeah, we
all
played.
day?
We
All
played till
weekend?
my ass hurt.
I remember because you're coming from Rise of Kingdoms and you play StarCraft. And you went because that's what we talked about last time. It's all we talked about, like the first half of last time. And now we got you into World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it is for sure. It's a game changer. It's unlike anything I've ever played before. I'm really about it. I enjoy it. It's a good way to stay in shape.
So what is it about it exactly? We talking about the RPG version of it? Just out of curiosity, for my own sake,
I don't know what those words mean, but I
like
like
the
it.
role playing side of it, or is it just like log in, continue doing
I
something?
like something that your progress holds. It's not something like any other thing. Like Red Dead 1, when you play it, like eventually it's going to be a Red Dead 2 or a Red Dead 3, and then
Yeah, right.
everything you worked for is not going to matter in a way. So I like the fact that you can build something and it will last. I mean, how long's it been out? How long have you been playing it?
Playing what, Red Dead?
No, World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft? Since Burning Crusade, so I don't know the exact date. We'll just say at least 10 years I've been playing.
So see, you've been playing the same game for 10 years. That's unheard of in any other game.
Right.
So yeah, that's what drew me to it. But I like the gameplay. I like that you could do something solo, not need anybody. But there's some shit you will have to have people. And the whole it's enough details that it keeps everything interesting. There's professions and all that, which I'm gonna figure out at some point. But there's also it's not too detailed where you gotta fucking read books or really fucking be about it for years and years and years to progress. You know what I'm saying?
I would love to see a lot more of that, where you get games come out and it's not like, buy this DLC. That's a map that we took out of it when it first came out.
Yeah, but it's like you said on the Rise thing. They're not going to keep a game flowing that long unless they can make money off of it. But it seems like World of Warcraft does it enough where like you don't have to spend super large amounts of money to still enjoy the game. You know?
Well, the energy band, like Ween, for example, they make a living off of it, but there's a lot of bands out there that literally only make music, or they got big, but they only started making music because it's what they love to do. I feel like whenever you go into video games like that, it's on a career level. You can't really do that too much. You can definitely do it as a side project, and maybe it can build up to something. I mean, look at what was it, Angry Bird or Flappy Bird? It was Flappy Bird. The dude made it. It's literally just a basic C++, C sharp, just basic programming stuff that you learn like programming 101. And the dude just super successful with it. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know.
Yeah, for sure. I think at the, at the end of the day, it's something like it's a lot of times people overthink it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, the Flappy Bird game. It doesn't take a rocket science for a team to make that game, but it was a huge hit. And like that's what's cool about life, I guess, is like some things like Ween. If you listen to Ween, you're like, there's no way these guys sell records and live off their music. But there's an audience for it. There's enough people. The world's a big enough place that anything could sell. It just got to get to them first. You know what I'm saying? Anything can be loved or liked. It's just got to get to that audience. And that's imagine back in the 90s when Ween was a thing and they didn't have internet like that. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Ween got big right before the internet really took off, it's pretty cool. Like imagine the work they had to put in to get that big or to get somewhat recognized, especially with the music they make, because they don't never make anything that's super poppy that would be on the radio. Like they have Push the Little Daisies and Voodoo Lady, but other than that, not anything else. They're not going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the one thing I hear a lot of people bitch about all the new technologies making us less social, but at the same time, it allows a lot of people, like bands like Wing, to make a living off of it. Like you got some basic. Like to me, if you're gonna start a band, like how we were talking earlier, we're making really stupid songs. You're sitting there chilling, waiting for the iPad charge. We're sitting there chilling, jamming out some really retarded tunes, like some Tenacious D style. And I really feel like if you're gonna take that method, like there's so many ways to market yourself now. Like make the music, make a music video. I mean, hell, love him or hate him, Justin Bieber. That's how he started. He went on YouTube and started singing, and
Love
then he got noticed. And then there's a lot of people that start like that.
Favorite artist?
What, my favorite artist?
No, my favorite artist is Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. That's what I suspected, man.
I'm a
Who's
believer.
Maynard? You're a believer?
Is that what they're called?
Believer?
I'm a poser. Yeah.
I like how I'm ripping on him, and I know it more than you. I like it.
Yeah, my mustache itches.
Your mustache.
Yeah, like the microphone pulled it and it hurt. I was like, ah.
I think, low key, would you ever be interested in doing something like that with Evil Dead? Just making your own soundtrack to like an Evil Dead or Destiny?
I haven't really thought about it. I mean, I'd be up for it. I just wouldn't know I would have to really work on it and know what to, because when I think of making music, I think of lyrics. In those cases, lyrics is not really a thing. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder what would the approach be on that? Because you can't get sued for making a song about something. Okay, technically you can't be sued for anything as long as you're not making money off of it. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder if you low key did that.
I don't know. I would have to really, I guess, when the Mollis album by Ween came out, they said, which is their Ocean album, has Ocean Man on it and all that shit, and the whole album's pretty much themed off the sea, and life, different life forms in the sea. The creator of SpongeBob, when he heard that album, that's what inspired him to make SpongeBob, was that album. So yeah, without Ween, there'd be no SpongeBob. So think about that.
He listened to Wing and thought of SpongeBob. Is that serious?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that real?
Yeah, he used inspiration off that album to make SpongeBob. That's why in the first season, Ween's got a song in the SpongeBob, the Loop De Loop song, "How You Tie Your Shoes." Ween wrote that. That was Ween. So, but they said that when they wrote that album, the reason it sounds so much or like has influences of the sea is because they rented out this like sea cabin, this fishing cabin, for like 6 months and just lived there. And they said that like for the whole time they didn't have a set like we want 6 songs a day. They just hung out by the sea by themselves in isolation, and slowly but surely the album came together. So I guess that's how it would have to be. Like to write for Evil Dead, I would have to post up in a cabin in the middle of the woods and just chill, But yeah, I don't know. It would be hard, I guess, for me because it's hard for me to write. Like I can't, when I write lyrics or poetry or whatever you want to call it, I can't sit down and be like, I want to write a song about how pissed off I am about this. Like I can't ever do that. When I do that, then it sounds too Dr. Seuss, like where it seems like I'm forcing a subject rather than I just start writing and then at the end I send it to one of y'all and y'all are like, oh hey, this is pretty decent, blah, blah. But I never write anything with like a particular thing in mind. It just comes out that way. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
So it'd be super hard for me to be like, oh, right, like an Evil Dead theme. I'd be like, chainsaws.
No, see, that's not how I think about it in the slightest. See, I think about it as like what would be my interpretation of it. Like I'm just gonna write some music that I would feel I would want to listen to if I was gonna get into Evil Dead. But I think to me, Evil Dead would be interesting because you wouldn't really have to take it too seriously, but you also couldn't just like straight up just trogdor it per se, where it's just completely retarded. It makes no sense. There's no direction. I feel like there's a good medium between there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Like score a film, I don't think I could. Now, if somebody like wrote a song, and somebody's like, "Yo, let me use this for a film," then yeah, I could do that. But as far as writing a whole album or a song and just for something in particular, I don't think I could at all. I mean, it would be more like here I wrote 200 songs, pick which ones you think is cool, and then you can use them. I couldn't sit down and really think about it.
So I've noticed you're wearing that nice little Cartman hoodie. Have you seen any episodes?
Yeah, for
Take
sure.
her to weed.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I like South Park. It's pretty solid. I like the past like 4 or 5 seasons.
You think they're over it?
Yeah, I think they're over it. But like you said, like they said, they're not going to stop making them just because they don't want to do it anymore. Like they're going to have to get canceled You know what I'm saying? And that shows. I respect that. 'Cause that shows that they appreciate the opportunity they had. You know, even though they're like tired of being in the band, they understand that there was a time they wanted to be in a band. You know what I'm saying? And they got to live that dream. So just to wake up one day, and be like, I don't really feel like it. It's kind of disrespectful for people who really want it and never get their chance. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, yo, we're going to just keep making them until we get canceled. And if we just so happen to fucking say fuck the Chinese government and, you know, really be ballsy, then that's what it is. But what's funny is, like, they have the attitude of fuck it, which is what I feel like they needed. And the last, you know, few seasons have lacked. I mean, I was always watching, but I wasn't really impressed. But this new season, because they're in that mind frame of fuck it, I'm just, you know, I'm gonna go at it balls to the walls is what started South Park.
It's like they're trying to just piss people off on purpose now.
Yeah,
like they're so over it. Like, you start a hashtag, whether it's a publicity thing, I don't feel like they really need that, but I feel like the whole hashtag cancel South Park, leading into literally, like, they in the first couple episodes of the new season, they're literally saying fuck South Park.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
That's I think that's funny because that's how their humor started. You know what I'm saying? It's like the first episode they did was about Santa and Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So it's when they're on their I don't give a fuck attitudes. It's when they're at their best shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you go to the whole the episode where the kids find out you can tell other grown-ups that a certain grown-up touched you and they go away forever. Like, that's ballsy. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like
Yeah.
So which is cool is, like, South Park was a lot like Eminem when, like, they did stuff that laid the footwork for, like, if which is wild that, like, you could do something crazy on TV, you know, back in like '99. Like, oh my God, do you see that new South Park? How fucking dare they? And then fucking now it's like, yo, dude, they did something, you know, crazy on South Park. You're like, yeah, it's South Park. It's like, it's the norm now. You know what I'm saying? Just like Eminem, when Eminem first came out, God, he said a lot of fucked up shit. And then now you hear him talk about, like, getting molested by his dad and butt raped in a song. You're like, that's just Eminem. It's Eminem being Eminem.
I think I saw that interview with him where they're like, now it's just it's South Park, whatever. You've seen Mr. Garrison as Donald Trump, but it's been a lot better. I know that I think the last episode was, or the last before that was season finale, and I was like 6 episodes ending it. Oh shit, they're really over it. And I remember looking it up. It's like, no, it's for Tegrity Farm. Like, Randy's part of, because this whole season's been inspired by Tegrity Farm, and they're like, no, we're over it.
Ween was on South Park. Just want to throw that in there.
Ween was on South Park.
Chef Aid. Have you seen the episode?
What's it about? I don't remember.
Chef Aid. They threw a concert festival for chefs. And you ever heard there's many colors of the homo rainbow. Don't be afraid to let your colors shine.
All right, yeah, all right.
That was Ween.
That was Ween?
Yeah.
Ween's like, in all that. So every stoner show, just listen for Ween.
Ween's in it. Yeah. What was funny is, like, I remember being a little kid when that episode came out and that song got stuck in my head. So I was just going around and smelling like, there's many colors of the homo rainbow, you know? But, yeah. I don't know. I appreciated it. I always liked South Park. I was never big on Family Guy. I was never big.
I was just getting ready to ask if you were more into Family Guy or South Park. If you had to get rid of one as well, but getting ready to ask you.
Family Guy's okay. I just feel like it's overhyped. It's not that funny. Same with The Simpsons. I don't understand how The Simpsons are as popular as it is.
Not a Simpsons fan? See, I like Simpsons.
No.
I like Simpsons.
It's okay. It's just not. I don't see what the big fuss is about. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's just one of those things that's been around for a while. Like, there's a lot of bigger bands that you listen to,
like a nostalgic thing,
and you're like, how are you still relevant right now? But the same shit every year. And you realize they just been around for a minute. Yeah,
for sure. Well, but I don't like. There's a lot of things that I don't really care too much about. That I don't see how all the hype's about. It's like daytime sitcoms with the fake laughs and the oh, we're in weird situations, but we make the most of it, and then cue audience laughter. I've never been a fan of that ever. I've never liked King of Queens. I never liked fucking Will and Grace. Whatever was hot at the time, I was never about it. Like The Big Bang Theory. I thought that was like one of the worst shows I've ever heard or seen. I guess.
Well, back in the day, that's how you, as a comedian, that's how you made it. Like Roseanne, when she came out, she was a talented comedian.
Fuck Roseanne.
And then whenever she got her own show is when she really took off. And back in the day, think about that. That was the goal. Like, we're gonna get funny. We're gonna get big enough where we can have our own show.
You know, a show that I thought was probably the most overrated, and I never thought the dude was funny in anything. Seinfeld.
I've never seen it.
You're not missing much. People fucking like swear like that's the holy grail of comedy, and every episode I've seen him.
I'll give him respect because I know he
shitty ass show.
I'll give him respect, even if I don't like something, I'll give respect depending on what the impact they had on the rest of either comedy, music, movies, anything.
No,
just no. Just a dramatic pause. And no.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool. I have no beef with that. It's just there's just a lot of shit that
Because there's a lot of people out there that think Tool are trash, but they can at least be like, well, they've been around for a minute. I can see why a lot of people like them, but not about it.
Oh, yeah, that's what it goes to. Like I'm starting to really develop that sense of like I was really bad earlier in my life about arguing about how the things I see and how I see them is the way you should see them. You know what I'm saying? So my perspective was
Never picked up on that.
Yeah, right. But I'm getting better on just not arguing about shit. Like there's a girl on my Facebook who doesn't like Maynard. And she's like, he's an arrogant asshole. And I was like, I could argue with you on how he's not, but it doesn't matter. Like your opinion's your opinion, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what I guess people get super mad too. Like I've been around so many people who like, oh, what do you think of this? And I'm like, I don't like it. And then they try to justify it, which I used to do. So I understood it. And I listen to them because I feel like that's rude to just be like, I don't like this. And then, like, if you tell me you like a certain thing, I'm like, I just don't like it. Obviously, your natural instinct is to be like, why? Blah, blah. So here recently, I just be like, all right, so I hear you out on why you like it, but it doesn't ever change my mind. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And like, that's what I feel like people don't understand. It's like, if we're sitting in a room and you play Five Finger Death Punch, which you do in your goddamn truck every time I'm in it, I don't ever complain about it. I'm like,
when was the last time I played Five Finger Death Punch?
Literally last weekend.
What was it? What was the song?
You think I'm gonna fucking know the song?
Exactly.
All right,
next time
I'll write down the song.
I'm just trying to fire you.
Next time I'll write down the song.
I'm putting that fire in your ass. See, I know how to trigger you. That's the thing.
It's not really triggering, I guess.
I just saw your face get triggered.
No,
because
it's like, why the fuck would I know the song? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, so I'm just trying not to, I guess, get triggered and not argue as much because it doesn't matter.
Just did.
And well, no, I just didn't know the song. And fucking, but that's what I was saying is like, I don't believe in the whole like I don't like it, so don't play it around me. But that which sucks because I would go to play something and people are like, oh God.
But see, a lot of the times I feel the same way about Tool. I like Tool. I love the guitar in it. Sometimes it bores the hell out of me.
You're just not smart enough to get it.
I hate that argument so much. It's like, I like Tool. I like Avenged Sevenfold. So I like just listen to it a lot. It's like, oh, well, you just don't like it. It's like, no, I just don't listen to it a lot. I love Tool. I love Maynard. I listen to A Perfect Circle or like Pucifer. Is that the one? I would listen to that more. I would listen to that more than I would Tool. Just in my opinion. I don't know, just the energy behind. I listen to the music more than I do the lyrics, and that's what kills it for me. Because it's super boring if you're just listening to the music. But it's also super exciting. Like as a guitar player, I listen to it, and you're like, "Oh man, that's kind of cool." Like I didn't think about that.
No. No, yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like I can't argue that point with you because how can I argue about what you find boring? To me, it's blasphemy.
Very easily. You do it all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get better at it. It's not. I don't mean to argue about it. It's more like I realize that people can't have a civil conversation about some shit, and mainly when it's about their opinion. So I just try to not get in those type of subjects anymore because it's pointless. You know, it's like I could argue with you, like, "Oh, hey, how's it boring?" They got all these theories on music and certain songs or about certain ideals and fucking crazy shit like that. But if you don't like it, you're not gonna like it, no matter how much I'll tell you you should.
Been there, done that before.
You're a fucking liar. So at the end of the day, it's pretty much like I just pick and choose who I have arguments with because, like I said, some people are just not gonna change their mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was talking about. Like, what do you think? Is it worth arguing somebody? Like, if somebody says Def Clock, stupid ass band, stupid ass cartoon, Brendan Smalls is a fucking talentless whack. What do you think?
If someone's going to that extreme to say that they don't like something, either A, they're trying to piss me off or like purposely try to get an argument, or B, they're just If they're that dead set, it's not worth my time. Now, if someone comes up to me, because you can also judge an argument, like when it comes to opinions about stuff, or if you're having a conversation with somebody, the beginning sentences will always set the tone. If they're coming up like, "Yo, man, Tool sucks," you're gonna be like, "All right, why do they suck?" Like, let's have a conversation about it. And if their go to is like, "Ah, I just listened to Sober and I just wasn't about it," like it's just a little too serious for me. Like, and basically, because the other part of that is they'll be like, "Oh, well, what do you listen to?" And if they say, "I love the SpongeBob theme song," like, that's pretty dope.
Ween.
Obviously, yeah. If they like Ween, and then the other guy's like, "Oh, Ween's gay, bro," and then instantly, you know what I'm saying? Like you set that precipice for the rest of the conversation because now you're not even trying to win the argument. You're just trying to piss off the other guy more.
See, I like the. Yeah, see, that's pretty much where I'm at. I just stopped trying to debate stuff with people because at the end of the day, it's just not worth it to me anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I realized that I was being a hypocrite in the way that I would be like, how when somebody tells me they don't like Tool, is I'll make the same argument. They can make the same argument on why I don't like Lady Gaga or pop music. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to you like what you like, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know.
Some people are about having conversations. Some people aren't. You know what I'm saying? It's just like political debates. If the political debates are, "Oh, you don't like Bernie? You're a Republican. You're trash." And all conversation over.
Communist.
We're done. We're done. Moving on.
Don't say that. That was funny. That was what cracked me up on the last one.
What was that?
Just because I felt like a dad who you were my dad, and I said a cuss word. I was like, we need a hybrid / communist, or no, what a socialist. I was like, we need a hybrid, a capitalism and socialist. And you're like, don't say socialist. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I didn't
Yes,
know.
Papa.
So
Yes, Papa.
So it was like I said a cuss word, and I was like, fuck. And you're like, don't say that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's like, I don't know. You like what you like. That's like Ween. I like Ween because the same reason I like the Deftones.
I've just gotten into really dumb arguments about stuff that
sure.
did not matter.
I just realized I would write paragraphs upon paragraphs arguing with people, and their response would either be the same that it started off with, political especially. Like if you already think political, I just feel like it's a waste of time. But
Like Death Clock. One of the things is the guy was like I had a buddy who he was into it for a while. He's like, I'm just not about the cartoon. Like, I just don't watch cartoons.
yeah.
I was like, all right, what's a cartoon about people dying? I don't understand what's so kiddie about it. He's like, I just don't watch cartoons, bro. I'm just like, I don't understand that, though. Like, okay, so what about just music? Oh, it's in the cartoon, bro. I was like, no, he releases albums outside of the cartoon.
See, I get that same argument about animes. I'm like, you watch anime? Like, I don't watch cartoons. I'm like, well, it's more than a cartoon to me. A cartoon, when I think of cartoons, is like SpongeBob or
Scooby-Doo, some shit like that. Yeah.
Just something that's like pretty much the same anecdote all the time. But there's some animes that are crazy. The only problem that I face is it's like Juggalos. You know, like you can't just like anime. Like, see, I like 3 animes, and that's it. I don't go searching for animes. Something that catch my attention. You tell me about something, and you've told me probably about 20, and I've watched 3. I've gave them all a shot, but I'm just like, this is just not my cup of tea. I don't know what it is. It's some of them get me, like Sword Art. I thought it had a great storyline. So I've just never been like cartoons has never turned it off for me. I didn't mind that because there's some detailed shit. I guess the only thing that really bugs me about anime is like I said, Juggalos. Like you can't just kind of watch anime. You either got to be full force in it, or you're a fucking poser. You know, that's like somebody posted something. I'm like, have you seen Sword Art? Have you seen Death Note? Or have you seen Black Butler? Those are the only 3 I know. Dragon Ball Z, I don't know enough about. And Dragon Ball Z is definitely like ICP. You know, you'd be like, what's your favorite character? Oh, Piccolo, he's pretty cool. He just grabbed up dude's son. It's like, I'm raising him now. That's fuck what you like. Yeah. And you're like, have you seen season 7? And you got to know every detail about it, or else like, oh, you don't even understand it.
I wonder how many metalheads or how many people, anime fans, are out there that won't say it. They won't give it a try because their friends say they won't give it a try, or they're just not about it. Because there's been a lot of times I'm just like, oh, Death Clock is amazing. And somebody's like, yo, you listen to metal? I'm like, yeah, I listen to metal. I didn't think you listen to metal. Oh, what do you listen to? And it starts that whole conversation that normally, because you're not going to go to the Walmart and talk to some 30-year-old dude about some nut. A lot of times anyway. What's that?
What's the show called?
Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse.
So it's pretty much just a band. Obviously, most people would know it, or at least have an idea. It's just a band of people who are rich, spoiled brats. They had horrible childhoods, except for Nathan, who had a great
Yeah.
childhood,
Let's see
and they just are rich and
what
spoiled.
got me on it was, see, I knew about the show before I did the band. I didn't even know that Brendan Smalls was even a thing, you know. But I appreciated the fact that they got so big and full of themselves that they became the global economy. Like everything
Yeah,
runs through them.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, that's fucking hilarious. That's cool. That's a cool concept. I've never heard anything like it. Whenever everybody thinks of a big band, they think of like Kiss. But like Kiss ain't touched Death Clock level, where they're fucking they are the economy and the whole world waits
Well,
for the record.
when he made the show, he said no one had really made a show about metal, about extreme metal. Like when he pitched it, he's like, this is a show about extreme metal, and it's this one band that gets so massive. They are part of the economy. That's how he worded it. They are the economy, and they can do. Everybody lets them get away with anything. Literally with murder. They literally let them get away with murder every day. And he's like, because he said he wanted to do it because he said eventually someone would have done it. Someone is going to do a show about metal, and they're not going to do it right. And he went to college for it. He was all about it. He's super into comedy. He's super into metal, and he said it just meshed really well. So he did the show. It was very successful. And then he started fleshing out songs, because in the show he would make illusions of songs. Like we talked about that before too, about making like a comedy show and giving the illusions of songs, fleshing them out, making them into full songs. So he did that, and then he had the highest selling death metal album of all time. And then he came out with the Death Album 2, and he topped the numbers on the Death Album 1. He came out with the Death Album 3, topped the numbers on Death Album 2, and he just kept going up. And then, unfortunately, that's when they canceled it. And then from Metalocalypse, he went to Galacticon, and he came out with a comic. He came out with a video where he Evil Deaded it, where they did the remake with no CGI, and they did all practical effects. Because his brother apparently, which for the longest time, Poser did not know he had a brother, but his brother works in special effects in Hollywood.
All right, see, I don't know anything about him at all.
So when I saw that's low key what inspired me to pick up guitar and to want to create a whole universe. It just, for the longest time, I did not take it seriously. I was like, that's impossible to do. Like if you're Brendan Small, 100%. But because that's something that doesn't really fade. You know what I'm saying? Like Bruce Campbell could pick up a guitar and come up with this wacky idea, put some music to it, and then just make a whole show. Like it's in 30, 50, 100 years when we're floating, we're not even walking, we're just floating. It's still going to be relevant because people love comedy, people love music. And to me, it's just always something that's been interesting for me to do.
Yeah, so, but I think that's what stops everybody is they just don't think that it's for them. You know what I'm saying? But everybody can. You just got to throw it out there, and sometimes it sticks, and sometimes it doesn't. You know, that's why I appreciate Ween so much. It's like I've had so many people be like, "Oh, I wish they made serious music," and they're like, "Everything we do is serious. We just happen to write whatever mood we're in." You got Spinal Meningitis, which is about a kid having spinal meningitis and dying and talking to God. It's super dark.
Well,
And then you got Ocean Man.
yeah, yeah.
And they're like, yo, we don't write in one state of mind. You know, we're like, we got to always be serious and be looked at as serious artists. They're like, yo, whatever we write, and what's good is what to us is what we keep. And I think that's what really got me out of the show, because I was always like second guessing everything I wrote or I did. I was like, oh, it's not. Nobody's gonna look back on it and be like, wow, he's a creative mind. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't give a shit about that anymore. I could just write whatever, and it's all opinion based. Like, you know, some people could say, oh, it's the best. System of a Down had a good quote. Perception is the mother of deception, or vice versa. I don't remember what order it went in. Pretty much, somebody's opinion, good or bad, is just an opinion. The only difference is you take a bad opinion to heart and a good opinion to your head. You know what I'm saying? Someone says, oh, that's the best song you ever written. You're like, it is. It's pretty. I'm a good musician. But somebody comes up and says, that's a shitty song, and you're hurt by it. You know, when really it shouldn't matter either way. If you let a good compliment fucking change your way of thinking, then you're also letting a bad compliment change your way of thinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, if 100 people say good
hand.
things about you, and then one dude comes up and has one bad opinion on you, that's the only one you're going to think about the entire day.
Well, it's
100%.
like psychedelics. They taught me that everything lives in its own space. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let anybody tell you if something's good or bad. That's why it's just really here recently. I'm really trying to enforce the whole I don't argue over stuff like that. I don't care if you like something, you don't like it. I'll like it. That's all I need. The only problem I ever had was when somebody's like, turn that off. I don't like it. It's like, motherfucker, I don't ever do that to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So fucking the only time I ever tell somebody to turn something off is if they fucking listen to that one song like 40 times in a row. I'm like, yo, turn this fucking song off. You know, I'm just over it.
That sounds like specific. That sounds pretty specific. What was the song?
Well, I had a family member who was real bad about whatever song they were into. They were playing on repeat. I listened to an Usher song, "You Got It Bad," at least 40 times in one day. And I was like, I fucking hate this song. After 20 years of not listening to it, I like it.
Yo, you ever get that person that's super about something, about a week later, they're like, nah, it's not that cool.
I'm like that kind of, but the only difference is I just fall. Like I don't lose interest in it as much as like I don't like it anymore, as much as I just find something new. So like I think it's like you said, but addictive personality. The way I see it is when I find out something new, there's only a handful of bands that stuck with me through the years. Ween, which I don't ever listen to around anybody because nobody likes it. Tool, Deftones. Those are probably the three bands that, like, Slipknot fell off. Used to like Slipknot. I still like Slipknot. I don't not like them, but I just don't seek them out. See, with me, it's like eating something. Like, all right, like this week, if we eat nothing but wings, lunch, breakfast, dinner, every day, boom, 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 for a week, you're going to have your fill of wings for a while. And I think that's what happens with me. Like, I'll find out something about something. I'm really into it because I want to know as much as I can about it. And then I'm like, all right, well, where do I go from here? You know? So I just put it on a shelf somewhere. And if somebody brings it up 10 years later, I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, I know all about this. That's how I know so much shit about random shit. Like Roseanne, you brought up earlier. The house that they live in, is a house in Evansville. Because one day I just started researching, like, in tri-state, like, what has made an impact nationwide on, art. And that was one of the things, is the Roseanne's house, not the actual house they filmed in, because that was a set, but the house they used for the picture in the very beginning is the house in Evansville.
The house in the very beginning was from Evansville?
Yeah,
I did not know
in the
that.
very beginning of the show, they have just pretty much a photo of a house, which the photo of the house is not the house that they're in, obviously. And that house is just a random house in Evansville. I don't know why they picked that house. I don't know. But yeah, that's a house in Evansville. Just like the field in League of Their Own is a field in Evansville.
I think the only thing that people do that I absolutely hate is when they have really bad excuses or they don't have one for not liking something or for either liking something or not liking something. So I've had people come up and be like, yo, I'm super about Deftones. Or I'm super not about Deftones. All right, why? Like, because I am. I'm just kind of curious. I would kill it. Do you just not like the sound? And they're just like, I don't know, bro. They got Be Quiet and Drive and My Own Summer, and then, I don't know.
Everybody knows Change. That's what
Change?
everybody hits you with. Do you like Deftones? Oh, I heard Change on Queen of the Damned.
And it kills me because it's like, all right, part of you wants to be that dick that's like, all right, so name me one song from like, name me 3 songs from that band. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they can't. I think that's what's wild too. Is that's why I argued so much when I was younger. So much when I was younger is when I decide I don't like something, like I don't like Fall Out Boy. What have I been listening to for the past 2 days?
Dance.
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
But it's not just their hits. I listened remember yesterday when we were playing World of Warcraft? I was like, you ever read any of their fucking lyrics? They're stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just put it on because if I don't like something, I want to know why I don't like it. Just as much
Teenagers scared of the living shit out of you?
Yeah. But I also want to know. That's My Chemical Romance, by the way, poser, or is it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's My Chemical Romance.
Anyway, but as much as I want to know why I like something, I also want to know why I don't like something. And sometimes I don't have a reason. It's like I just don't like the fucking vibes. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't have a logical. I guess it's not the conversation that I didn't like as much as I just don't like them as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm honest with it. I don't really have a reason.
I guess really it's not the conversation they were proposing, bro. I think it's just them as a person. They're shit. Yeah. That was the best argument you've ever had. Well, it's just them as a person. I was
like, honestly, like if somebody had a debate with me, I wouldn't be that offended by it. But I was like, I guess it's just because I don't like them.
Is there anything you think is worth debating?
I guess. See, really, all right. This is what me and Jessa, we talked last night. Everything's worth debating, everything. But if you're not having a conversation with something or somebody, something like
conversation over debate.
But no, if you're not talking to gather something from them, to take something away from the conversation. Like she said something that made my heart all warm. And she's like, I've took some politics, like ideals from you. And I was like, what? Because Justin knows a lot more about politics than I do. But I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? I just know the basics of what I'm trying to say and like how I think life should be. Other than that, I couldn't tell you about policies, you know, at all, or how to change them, or like why the system runs the way it does, blah, 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 blah. Because just from a young age, I just felt like the people in power are never going to give that power up. And I've never lived in a time where I thought the people of our country might start a revolution. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never thought that.
Well, you got Antifa.
Yeah. But, so yeah, everything couldn't be debatable 100%. And that's what I was telling, like, I was telling her last night, like when I get bored, like, this is like Maynard. Everybody says Maynard's a dick. But see, I like his sense of humor because I feel like I have a similar one where it's, if I get bored, I'm just gonna start throwing random fuckery on you. Just see how you handle it, and it may make me look super awkward, like when you made fun of me for being in your house the other day and everybody was talking, I was just standing there, like looking around. It may make me look awkward, but it's funny to me, and that's all I'm really trying to entertain is me. You know, so if I say a joke and you're like, "That's a horrible joke," I'm just like, because it made me laugh, and that's what I'm doing it. And then I could tell you, like, if I go someplace and something's super awkward, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, this is awkward as fuck." I'm going to go tell Alex and Jessa about this later. And then it's funny, you know what I'm saying? It becomes like a ha-ha moment instead of being like, oh, that was one of the worst times of my life. It was so awkward, you know? But that's like, I was riding in a car with somebody's sister. And so if I can repost it up, I guess, yeah, that didn't make sense. I was riding in a car with somebody, and I got bored. And I was like, yo, you ever sucked a dick? And she was like, I grew up with her. So it was weird for her, I guess. And she was like, I don't really want to. Yeah. And I was like, how was that? And she was like, I feel uncomfortable talking about this with you. It's weird, you know, because you're like a brother to me. And I was just like, well, one, I know everybody, you know, it's out in the room now. You know, it's just me and you in a car, and it's out there that you've sucked a dick. So that's the like shameful act, right? Like you don't want anybody to know you sucked a dick, but that wasn't shameful.
All right.
I'm on the part of how was it? Like, how is having a dick in your mouth? Like, how's that experience? And the only reason I was thinking about that is I was like, I wonder if going down on a chick is similar to going down on a dude in taste. You know, like the way it tastes. And she was like, this is just really uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I don't get it. You know, because if you're friends with me, I'm going to have conversations with you that's going to be really awkward just to see how you handle it or just to see how deep you really are and how, like, thought out you are. I'll just suck the dick just because it's the thing to do. Okay. If you're like, dick's okay, I guess, blah, blah, blah. You know, you have this detailed description. I'm like, all right, well, at least you thought about it. You know, you put some thought about, why'd I suck this dick? Not just because that's what girls do is suck dick. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that. So anything's debatable. I think it's really cool to have conversations with somebody. But if you're not taking something from it or they're just closed-minded, then you're not debating, you're arguing. And nothing's worth arguing about. It's like, have you ever heard Right Into Batul?
Yeah.
You know, about angels watching us and they just think we're dumb monkeys.
Yeah.
I think about anything I debate with anybody. When it starts to turn into an argument, I think about that song. I think about, I don't want to give them anything that they can make fun of us for. Like angels would be like, look at those two fucking stupid monkeys arguing about a burger or arguing about a shoe or arguing about music. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it is people want to feel that they want to feel like they're ahead on something. It's kind of like flat earthers. You know what I'm saying? They want to feel like they're like the head on something. They want to feel like they figured it out, even though when you debate the actual science.
Have you heard this theory on why the Earth's flat?
Yeah. See, my issue.
You don't vibe with it?
No, not in the slightest, because there's so much proof to go against it, and it kills me.
The world's flat, so
the world's flat.
Look into it. No.
I tried to go along with it, but it was just one of those things where the evidence they were showing for me, I was like, all right, just give me a little bit of time to marinate on it. Let me look it up. Let me hear from people who are actually knowledgeable on this, and then go from there.
See, the flat Earth thing, like the theory is pretty cool, but it's not like cool as in like I believe it as much as like it'd be a cool story, like a twist at the end of a movie. Because like the theory that I got down with, but here's the thing: is like anything you argue with, it gets broken down to a science that I don't understand. You don't understand. Not that it can't be understandable, but we just don't know that much about
It's one of
it.
those things when you look into it and you actually see real scientists answering it, real evidence, you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. But then when you try to talk about it 3 months later, like right now, I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't remember every little piece of fucking
But
evidence.
also, it's like when a scientist says something, like, and they throw some like compound on a chemical they've designed, blah blah blah. Low key, you're like, I don't know anything you're saying. I'm just gonna take your word for it. Sum it up for me. We've made this thing. It cures cancer. All right. You got to take it at face value because you don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, 100%.
So like that's like the flat Earth thing. Like planes don't fly a certain path because the world's flat, and if they take you this way, which would make sense if the world was round, they would take you this way, but a plane can't go that way because it's too cold. So see, my argument was when I first heard it, it's like, I can get down with that, but then again, they're like, you see, in my head, my simple-minded head, it's like we flew out of space, so we should be able to design a plane that could fly anywhere throughout any environment. But push comes to shove, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So if a scientist is like, no, it's impossible, you can't make it, I'm like, yeah, all right, I don't know. I'm not going to know.
See,
I'm not going to build the plane or anything like that.
100%. I'm always open to anything you want to bring to me, but just bring evidence if it's like a science thing, and then give me time to think about it. Don't just sit there and be like, yo, you got to believe this. No, because I'm showing you this. No, it's like, no. Instant way to get me to not listen.
Somebody sent me a video, and the video is about how throughout time, all the god, like most of the gods throughout time, were all Jesus qualities: virgin birth, they're carpenters, blah blah blah. So they're sending this video because they think they're on to some shit. You know what I'm saying? And it turns out like the first god they brought up was an Egyptian god, and that wasn't the story at all. Like I knew that from just looking up the history of gods because I wanted to, I've thought of that, like the first god that we know of, what was his story? And it was an Egyptian god, but he wasn't it was basically the premise of this god was there's two gods, the day god, the night god. During the day, the day god won. During the night god won. Hence is why the sun goes up and the sun goes down.
Yeah, yeah.
I think his birth was about like he cut himself out of his father's testicles. You know what I'm saying? It was not a virgin birth to under a manger, blah, blah, blah. The point I'm making is there's a lot of shit out, especially with the internet and YouTube and all that, that you got to use common sense. And really, if you're going to believe something enough to put a theory behind it and start thinking about it, you got to make sure do your own research, you know? Like the whole, like there's been 12 different gods that the story is super similar to Jesus. Instead of just sharing that video and saying like, check this out, this is pretty cool. Before you share that video, look up 6 of those gods individually on your own time. See if the story matches up. It's like, don't put face value in just something because it seems right. Like the whole theory on the flat earth is the Illuminati type figures. The 1%ers of the world that fucking just have most of the money and all this shit. There's other land around. Like, so there's a whole. So the theory that I got behind, I was like, that's cool. That's a cool theory. I didn't get behind the whole like the world's flat and the government's trying to keep it from us. Why? So the theory was that I heard, which is like 40 of them. You know what I'm saying? It's not just one theory. Is the rich have this land off like on this whole other plane of existence that we don't know about? Not a plane, but the ice, the North Poles, and the ice around us on this flat world. It's like this huge ice wall. You can fly over this ice wall, and when you do, there's land there that we don't know about. We only think about the continents we have and all that, but there's this whole other part of the map that we don't know about. So the rich are using that to live off. And it's like Eden, I guess you would like the rich just have this great spot of land while we're fighting over this earth that we think is limited. I was like, that's a cool theory. I just feel like there's too many people that are just like, no, I'm gonna go fly over that wall.
So with everything going on, do you ever wonder what we're going to be in about 10 years? Like when the next generation reaches our age now, you ever wonder what's going to be going on? What's going to be fought against?
I'd like to think of it like Demolition Man. You ever seen that show?
With Arnold?
No, it's Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone.
And Wesley
Same
Snipes.
person.
Like in the future, cussing's illegal, murder's illegal, but like it would have to. It's weird because there's 2 ways it can go. It could go Fallout, where bombs happen and the world's nothing, and the world's fucked, or it could do a drastic change where
I think I was. I
everything
think I was
really comes
aiming.
together.
I think I was aiming more like society, like the things that are being argued about right now. Like there was a thing where people were going to the Supreme Court about people are raping babies because babies need to give consent before you change their diaper. That was rape. Like there's that level, but then once again, though, that's a marginal case on our generation. At least we would like to think so. And then you go on Facebook and you see those same people, or you go on the news and you see these same people blocking streets, protesting things that I guess personally to me, I'm like, all right, I understand why you're mad. There's way better ways to go about that.
I think about just anything like that, like we're wasting our energy on something that really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
So you think it's worth just to ignore it, or do you just think be like,
I think if
is
you
it
pay too
is it
much-
worth it to correct them or just ignore it?
Ignore it. I think if you start arguing why it doesn't matter, then it's like I said before, you're arguing over something with a closed
Makes it
person.
cooler. I guess you got a point. Maybe it's
'Cause
more
you're
just
now it's of them wasting their energy in that way of thinking. They're wasting your energy and theirs.
I think I think you're right. It's just about that teenage rebellion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying to go
It's
against
like,
what people are
it's like
saying.
the whole transgender movement. It's like, if it doesn't affect you, why do you care about it? You know what I'm saying? It's like what I think about. It's like you've seen Little Nicky. You know, when Julius, his brother's name, the one that took over and became.
I'm not gonna remember names,
Anyway, the Irish brother, fucking when he's at the park right before Ozzy Osbourne kills him, and he's just like, "You all will know torment and be weirded out." But when there's like that dude that's like Buffalo Bill dancing in the crowd, and he's like, "Well, maybe not that weird." Like that's what I think.
maybe not that bad,
Yeah.
but still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it. It's like people are just always going to be about some crazy shit, and if it doesn't affect you, just let people believe it. It's like people who are like hardcore Christian. I'm not going to argue with you why that's stupid or why I don't believe it or why you shouldn't believe it. If you believe it, believe it. You know, just don't. There's no point in arguing about it. Plus, I don't want to go around being that dude. It's like, oh, I know everything. You know nothing.
See, I got a conversation about that not too long ago about finding purpose. I said a lot of people just want that thing that gives them validation that they have like a higher meaning, a higher purpose behind their life. And to me, you create it. If you're that dude that's like, I don't want to get rich. But yeah, but if you start making a lot of money, you can start feeding the homeless guys that you keep bitching about. No one's helping. You could do that, or you could do this. You could help your family out. You have to find what that purpose is. Like we talked about that on the first podcast, where it's about what does success mean to you? Is success about becoming a millionaire? Is it becoming just having kids, being a great dad because you had a shit dad? Is it about this, that? You have to me, you have to create your own purpose. Everybody else is like, no, I was chosen for something specific, and that's people are raping babies.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like people just, like you said, they just want that purpose. They just want to feel like they've changed the world. And
Just like Flat Earth. Who the hell brought up this random theory like, oh, the Earth is flat? I'm going to come up with this super scientific sounding theory as to why, and then instantly be proven wrong by all of the other rest of the world.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick by it because what's believable?
It's
A bunch of
ego.
millionaires are just wanting to hold it
ego.
accountable or hold it to themselves.
That's why the argument lasts so hard on music or anything. Anything you like that somebody else doesn't, you want to justify why you like it and why they should. And it's ego. It's like of all the people you've met, who do you think's the most creative person you've met?
In person,
Somebody you know, not like you met.
somebody I know,
Anthrax,
most
you know what I'm
creative.
saying?
I would say the most creative, like in an artistic way, and just in general. I don't understand.
Like
Artistic?
Yeah, writing or music. Like somebody who creates art. Like who's the most creative person you know?
Someone who creates art. I would honestly say Luke.
Yeah. All right. See.
Because on the spot, you could be like, I want a zebra who's part line and is made out of a door. Just something that doesn't even make sense. Yet he'll be like, all right. And in 10 minutes, he draws something up to you.
Yeah. See. So those people are always hard to come by, and it's because most of your artists come from shit, right?
Yeah.
It's like Kurt Cobain or any of
Yeah.
these artists. Like, there's only very few that come from like a really noble family. Blah blah blah. It's because art thrives on misery. You know what I'm saying? So it's just wild to me that or like it's like the original lead singer Sid of Pink Floyd. You know, he went mentally insane because he had a mental health issues on top
Did
of
not know that.
large amounts of LSD. That's why he quit the band, and I think he may have died in a mental institution. Like when Pink Floyd took off, he he went insane. But it's just wild to me that like one of the somebody's writing that I really really like is Jessa. Have you ever read her writing?
No.
Her writing, she's probably one of the best as far as writing.
Well, she was published at one point. I just don't remember what I don't remember what the poem or the story was. I think it was a poem.
But yeah, she's really good as far as writing. She's one of the only people that because you know everybody, a person that we know that I don't want to name and turn into that, used to post his poems on Facebook, and before he unfriended me because he doesn't like me anymore, and I wasn't feeling it at all. I just didn't like his writing for some reason. But it's weird how, I don't know. It's just weird to me how like what makes you attracted to a song or a band or a person or art, and it's just weird to me that most of your people who may not have the greatest light or the greatest outlook on life or anything like that tend to be fucking great artists, you know?
Yeah, all right, yeah, I feel that. I just there's also a lot of people I feel like music when it comes to writing music. If I was to sit down and seriously because you know now that we got the setup and all that, seriously record something, I don't have any doubt in myself. Drums, bass, guitar, whatever it is, musically I could do it, but I've never like done melody in a vocal. So I feel like there's some people that might be. There's a lot of people who are passionate about something but aren't good at it. And there's a lot of people who are good at something but are passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the last time you've seen somebody that's super good at guitar but they don't like it, or the last person you see that are super passionate about it but they're just not good at it and they don't practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. But then you got those people who see it's like the Beatles. Like all right, the reason I really like Tool and I stayed so relevant with Tool is Tool's the only artist or the only band that I've ever heard, Maynard in particular, that everything that he does, his writing, when I read his writing or hear his writing, I'm always like, I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how to write like that. Seether, Three Doors Down, Nickelback, Slipknot, System of a Down, Rage Against the Machine. I'm like, I could imitate the writing if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted to sit down and be like, I'm gonna write a Nickelback song, it wouldn't be hard to me. I understand like the formula to that. You know what I'm saying? But with Tool, I've never figured out that formula. I don't know how they write the music they do. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's the one thing. Like, it's wild to me that some bands, it's like Trent Reznor was real cool on it in the sense that have you ever heard of his band Tapeworm?
No.
You know why you haven't? Because he didn't release it. I was just saying if you were going to be one of those people, it's like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, well you're a lying motherfucker because he didn't release it. So Tapeworm is a super group. It's him and Maynard.
All right.
He said him and Maynard are really good friends. Makes sense because think about the personality of both of them and how. See, like Trent Reznor, Maynard, and Tapeworm reminds me of a lot of Jessa. Perfectionists. If it's not perfect, they don't want it out. But what's crazy is like, damn, dude, like you could be sitting on something that's fucking gold, you know, but just because it doesn't go through your perfectionist ways, it's not getting released. So he did Tapeworm with Maynard, and he was asked in a recent interview why he never released it. And he's like, well, Maynard's from Tool and I'm from Nine Inch Nails. And when you have a bad two entities from those bands coming together, the music we were writing was 7 out of 10. That's unacceptable for us. If it's not 10 out of 10, we don't release it. So it got me thinking, like, how much shit do people sit on? Like the Chi album that the Deftones won't release. I understand that. That's a personal thing. It wasn't perfect the way we want it to be perfect, so we're not releasing it. That's the last album we got to work with our friend that died. But Tapeworm, it's like how much music do you think doesn't get released because the artist just doesn't think it's good enough? And if they released it, how could it be like, oh shit, this is better than Tool and Nine Inch Nails,
and it's hard to gauge that until you're in that position. You know what I'm saying? We've been there where people are like, yo, I could dig that. All right, so what y'all doing? It's like, oh, nothing. That's garbage.
Yeah.
That's trash.
Yeah.
Not about it.
For sure. I think see with us it's about like I don't release anything, or I wouldn't release anything, which we haven't, which is a shame that we've been doing it for this long and have it.
We've just never taken it to that point, to be honest with you. We've never really tried.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Like when I write music, if I've never wrote lyrics on top of a song that's already written. I've already wrote the lyrics first, and which is horrible because it's never sounded right to me. I always want to. I think we should write music first, and then I'll write the lyrics over top of it, or you write the lyrics, however you want to do it. But I think what's important with us is if we wouldn't listen to the record or the song on our own, it's like when Kayla Lewis came over. She's like, "This shit jams." Remember that like little part of the song we had?
I feel you.
And I was like, "It's just not there yet." You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's not necessarily something that's lacking or something. I don't feel it in my heart. You know, like when you hear a song that you fucking genuinely love, like "Closer." The first time you heard "Closer" by 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
That dun 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 dun. You let me violate you. That shit. Like when you first heard it, you're like, I just want to listen to this song on fucking repeat. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like
just
it's
sounded
there, you
so
feel it in your
different.
heart.
Yeah.
It's like a passion. You're like, oh man, I wish I wrote this. Why didn't I create this? You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like they did justice in some way with that song. You know, but then you got bands who they can. You ever had a band that have that song that you're like, I bet you this is a fucking dope band, and then you listen to the rest of their album and you're like, this is shit. It's like it's all about like you just gotta have the heart if you're passionate about it. Big I guess nod to that would be Drowning Pool. Have you heard Sinner, the first album?
I have, but it's been a while since you showed me that
So
one.
Bodies and all that shit's on that album.
Right.
Bodies took off, and then 9/11 happened, and they canceled it as far as pushing it on media platforms, MTV and all that, because 9/11 with the bodies hitting the floor like it's sensitive. That whole album's good. It's not the most deep. It's not good. It's not something you're gonna listen to and be like, oh, this is a fucking
I
masterpiece.
understand the universe. Yeah.
But it just rocks. It was a good album all the way through. There's not many albums that you can listen to all the way through and not be like, oh, there's like 3 songs I don't like.
Man, it's been a minute since I've been able to listen to anything just straight through,
There's
man.
only 5 albums that I can listen to all the way through.
Is one of them Iowa?
Actually, yeah, Iowa is one. Iowa's one. White Pony, Sinner by Drowning Pool, which, like I said, it's not something you're going to listen to and be like, oh, I got the world figured out.
Right.
It just rocks. Undertow, and then what was the name of that? Hold on, it's a Ween album. Go Back by Ween.
Right.
Those are the albums, which Ween's pretty much their whole discography is good. There's some songs I'm like, oh, dude, because they just, it's very all over the place. So some shit's just not my taste. It's not a bad song, it's just not my taste. But it's just weird to me, like, all right, so Drowning Pool, first album, knocked it out of the water. Dave Williams, the original lead singer, dies. Second album, third album, all the way up. I've not heard a Drowning Pool album since then I've liked. But it's just weird to me how, like, that chemistry changed that much from Dave Williams dying. You know what I'm saying? Because then you got some cases where it's just weird. Like Maynard, he's in 3 different projects. I love all 3 of them. So is Tool good because of all 3 of them, or all 4 of them, or because Maynard's that good of an artist? You know what I'm saying? And then you got like Dave Williams. Dave Williams, he obviously had a huge impact on Drowning Pool.
Right.
Slipknot, Paul Gray. Think about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like Dave Williams had such an impact on that band because all the bands there. You know what I'm saying? It just the lyricist was gone. Paul Gray was just a bass player. Most musicians have that snobby, like, put their nose up when it comes to bass. Like, oh, anybody could be the bass player. It doesn't matter. It's like a running joke, right? But they said Paul Gray was so into Slipknot as far as how they write that, he made them rewrite a whole song and turn it down a tuning. And Clown's like, yo, this is perfect. This is exactly what it needed. Like, we thought it was good. You made it great. So it's like, I've always been interested in the whole dynamic. Like, if something changes, how a band can just tilt a total different way. You hear Drowning Pool's first album, you're like, this is great. You hear the second album, you're like, when the fuck did they become 3 Doors Down? You know what I'm saying?
I never thought that. All right.
You ever heard 37 Stitches? You are the only one. It's that cookie cutter bullshit.
I get it. I didn't mind the song, but I get it.
Yeah. Compared to Bodies, Sinner.
Yeah, still compared to Bodies and Center, I didn't mind it.
Tearing Away. See,
I would have to
to
sit down and listen to all of them to really get it because I can't hear all the songs in my head.
But then what's crazy is you got a lot of bands that it works. It's just weird how that chemistry, like Rage Against the Machines, Soundgarden, or not Soundgarden, fucking Audio Slave.
Yeah.
It's still two great bands. You know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't know who was in Soundgarden and you didn't know who was in Rage Against the Machine and you didn't know how they were talented to Audio Slave, well, I was coming back to
because it's different people. Soundgarden completely.
Yeah, no, Soundgarden's its own different band. It just has Chris in it. But that's what I'm saying. If you didn't know Soundgarden and you didn't know Rage Against the Machines, and you didn't know Audio Slave and how they all have similar members, that it was a super group, you wouldn't care because Audio Slave is that good of a band that it would stand alone. Just like Soundgarden's a good enough band, it would stand alone. Just like Rage Against the Machines is a good enough band, it would stand alone.
I'm excited about that reunion, by the way.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to basically say is like it's weird how much like you can get Trent Reznor and Maynard in a room, and I want to know what it sounds like, but it's wild that we'll never get to. So it's wild to me like how much art could be great art, but it never sees the light of day. And then you go to like somebody like the Beatles, who have a huge catalog, but if you go back and listen to their music, they're not reinventing their wheel. It's not as complicated as Tool. It's not as complicated as really anything, but they've set the mode for all this shit. You know, without Beatles, no Black Sabbath. Without no Black Sabbath, there would be, you know, and the waterfall continues on what it wouldn't be, you know, because that's what Ozzy was quoted as saying. It's like he just wanted to be John Lennon. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be the Beatles.
Yeah,
They just happened to go their own route, thank God, because I would hate to hear Black Sabbath be hippie happiness. You know, I don't think they would have made it. But, you know, so it's cool that don't overthink it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The Beatles didn't have anything too complicated, but somehow they changed the world and music forever. Without the Beatles,
Who was it that quoted that? Is just if you have art, just release it.
I have no clue. But
I feel like there was another artist that said, just release it. Just get out. If it's a painting, if it's a sculpture, if it's a song,
yeah, I know what
if
you're
it's a
talking about.
podcast,
I feel
if
like
it's
I
anything.
said something about it a couple of weeks ago. It's just about getting out there, man. That's what I guess that's the gist is what I'm trying to say. Is like people can be you can have a super group. Trent Reznor, talented as fuck, right? In my opinion.
Right.
Maynard, talented as fuck, in my opinion. But you get them in a room, they just feel like they knock it out of the park like they should, you know. So it's just wild to me, I guess. Just the whole who's to say what's good and what's not good. You know, don't overthink anything. That's something I think I did in really earlier in my life. Is everything I wrote or anything I would hide. I don't want to sing in front of people. I don't want to, you know, anybody to read my writing. And then you're like, you hear Chino live, and you're like, oh, he's not that great of a singer. He's got a lot of effects on his vocals, but Deftones is probably one of the best bands that's been out in the past 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Just like the famous quote was Ozzy Osbourne was the first singer that proved you didn't have to learn how to sing. You didn't have to know how to sing and have to be a talented singer to make it.
Yeah.
But see, always when I hear Ozzy, I'm thinking, damn, dude, that dude's got a great voice. But I guess push comes to shove, he doesn't compared to Celine Dion.
Well, it's when you hear him
somebody,
live. Yeah, it's when you hear him live. Yeah.
I think people worry too much about being the best at something or being too perfectionist. Like fucking I've read enough of Jess's writing. I feel like she should be published and she should be an author. She should be selling books. And the fact that bitch that writes Cracked or whatever, or what was that big book that was big when we were kids, like Chicken Noodle for the Soul or some shit like that.
I have no
I read
idea.
the first chapter and I was like, this is horse shit. You know what I'm saying? Why is this so cool? And which is like Harry Potter. I don't understand why Harry Potter's so fucking cool. Like I get it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not anti Harry Potter, but why is it so cool? Like why did that blow up and Evil Dead didn't? Why is Evil Dead not as popular as Harry Potter? Shit like that. It's like the masses. Yeah, I guess is what you should shoot for. It's like a good argument's Metallica. They sold out. They cut their hair off and they sold out. They sound like they're ripping off themselves. That argument. So do you want to create a band that doesn't sell? You know, like Black Flag. When they call
That's not what they got the hate for, though. That's down. I wasn't gonna say anything, but the reason they got the hate is because they were trying to sue their fans. Lars and James were trying to sue their fans for Napster.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
That's why they got the hate. But
we'll see. Every time I hear, what was that? What was the Creeping Death? Was that the album with the casket on it? With it's white.
No.
What's the name of that album?
Are you
they
talking
came
about
out in like 2008?
2008 is Death Magnetic.
All right, yeah. When that album came out, that's all I heard. I didn't like Metallica at the time, so I didn't give a fuck either way. But yeah, they're like, oh, they're sold out. they're a pop band type thing. When they did the Grammy thing with Lady Gaga, it's like, bro, it's just music.
Well, they did that with Load and Reload. When Load and Reload is when they cut off their hair and they put on eyeshadow or whatever the hell it is. They put on makeup and they cut their hair. And then at the same time, Napster's coming. The whole YouTube, the whole idea that your music can be sold online for free, was just coming out. And this is still when people thought the internet was a joke and it wasn't to be taken seriously. Like, email will always be more popular than internet was seriously a debate.
Have you ever heard Lars talk about that now, though?
With the Napster?
Yeah, he says he fucking hate that he did it because now everybody just thinks he's some asshole.
Because he was suing his fans. Like, that's a real thing. That's a fact.
But at the end of the day, it's like what Doyle was talking about. If you go to a guitar shop that somebody makes a guitar, you go in there and steal their shit and don't pay them for it. That's stealing. Why is it no different with music?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that create music and create art for free, and it gets them an audience either at a live show or sells their merch. One of the best ways, like when we create an album, you're going to charge people $5? No, you're going to hand it out. You're going to ICP that shit. You're going to be like, here's a album, $20.
See, with me, I'm on the premise.
Horrible way to do it.
I'm on the way of the mindset of System of a Down and Trent Reznor. When they both had records, it was like, steal this album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject because at the end of the day, I guess, I feel like everybody makes their money. Like, I guess they came from a time when hair metal and shit was big. So that was just money hand over fist off album sales. And I guess that it was a job in the throat. Like, oh, damn, there goes that money. But see, we grew up in a time when that you stole it music. You know what I'm saying? So I guess to me, it's more about, all right, Trent Reznor was huge on don't buy my record, steal it. Because the record label is what's getting the money off that. I'm making money off touring and live shows and T-shirts and shit like that. So I guess that's why I'm on that mindset. Like, we start touring. I'm going to just, if you want to support us, come see us. And then that reflects. See, that's why I don't think Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses were been this big if it was nowadays. Because a lot of it's your personality. How do you react to your fans? And if personality came into play, Guns N' Roses would have been fucking opening up in bowling alleys. You know what I'm saying? Talented dudes. I'm not saying they don't write good music. But I just don't like somebody who's like the Gene Simmons approach. The fucking Omega of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day, you're writing fucking music.
I mean, to me, like I said, the best way to approach it has always been to just put it out there. You're going to get 10 more people out of 100 to say, all right, I'll check you out if you just hand them a disc or if they can just download your song versus if you charge even $5 for a CD.
Now, what I do get with is the recording at a concert. The whole, like how, see, everybody's giving shit for Maynard because they outlaw phones. So, how do you feel on that? Do you think that's an approachable thing? Do you think that's understandable, or do you like, I think
it's understandable because they paid to be at your show. At the very root of it, they're paying to see you, and they're the reason that you're standing on stage. So I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care in the least.
Yeah, I disagree. I think phones are. I didn't really have a dog in the fight until Doyle.
Well, it gets to me because it's like you're going to tell somebody how to enjoy the show. How are you going to tell me how to enjoy your show?
Because that's your environment. That's your creation. You know what I'm saying? But Doyle's the one that really got my head turning when he was like, imagine you're sitting there playing the guitar and somebody fucking like got their camera on. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, motherfucker, I'm not that good of a guitarist. So you shining cameras in my face, I'm going to fuck up the song. You know what I'm saying? But what Doyle was saying was like, once you're seeing something through somebody's phone, like say I'm recording you right now. I'm not in the moment. And a lot of what they do is off emotion. They feed off you, you feed off them. So imagine you're fucking going full at it playing guitar and everybody's just standing there looking at you, not moving. Not like that kind of nerve wracking for me that would be. It's like just somebody just standing there looking at you. Like not bobbing their head, just
I 100% understand that. I just don't think you're ever going to get 100% resolution on either side, which is why to me it boils down to a logic of you're giving me money to come see me. I don't care what you do. Just don't hurt each other.
I guess. See, I don't know. Well, no cell phones allowed at our shows. That's what I'm saying now.
Well, because I've seen that. I
just have arguments on the side of the stage.
Well, I've seen Corey Taylor.
Get your fucking phones up. Like, you put your fucking phones away. Just
right.
Like, I don't know what to do. All right, if you want your phones out, go over to that side.
All right, now security, escort those people out.
Yeah, get them the fuck out of here. Yeah.
No, like I've seen Corey Taylor Snapchat phones. I 100% agree on the emotional side. Especially Jonathan Davis has come out and said that there's shows that literally, because he's had a lot of health issues off and on, obviously with his wife passing away, he's just not mentally there all the way. And the energy they get from the crowd, I understand that from a musician's side of the point of view, 100%. The emotion, the energy is completely different when somebody's looking at you through a camera. On the other people's point of view, it's like, yo, I paid $250 to come fucking see you with
You're
my
a moron for
friends,
paying that much.
and then well, it's common price, but
No, fuck that.
they said, you're a moron. You got me, you got me off.
For a ticket.
Yeah, 100%. That's normal,
Yeah,
bro.
that's fucking stupid. I've never paid that much.
The cheapest ticket,
$50
I've ever seen was like $100 to go see Anthrax.
I paid cheapest tickets $100. I paid $20 to see Kid Rock, and I paid $50 to go to Warped Tour and see like 12.
There's a lot of tickets out there for these bigger like festivals and shit. That's $250.
Dude, fuck that. That's a festival I could get.
Even if I'm paying
camping, all that.
$50 to come see you, that's still $50 that I'm giving you just to see you.
See, Kid Rock had that because at the time Justin Timberlake was charging like $400 to come see him, and he's like, "You are fucking retarded." So that's why Kid Rock had a whole tour where he only charged $25, $50. I think it was $50 was the meet and greet, $25 was just general admission. You go in t-shirts for like $10, $15. He's like, "This, you can make a living off of it. You're not going to make nearly as much as you're charging $400 a ticket, but it's fucking stupid." And I remember him getting a lot of flack for it in interviews. He's like, "Who the fuck is worth $400 that you want to go see him?" He's like, "Dude, I like fucking." I think the one he made was Jimi Hendrix. He's like, "Jimi Hendrix is a fucking legend." But if he was like $400, I was like, "You go fuck yourself." You know what I'm saying? I would never pay that much. I guess that's why you've seen way more shows than I have, though. But I would pay $400 to see G.G. Allen.
See, I've never agreed with the whole meet and greet. See, because we did that with Anthrax, because it was a cheap VIP ticket. It was the same price as tickets, so it was like $78, $80, $100. Nobody knew about it. You had to go to their website to get it. Jess is actually the OG who found it. And I remember when we met them, it was super disappointing though, because in your mind you're like, oh, we're gonna go have a conversation and be like, oh, I love your music and talk about it. Then you get in there and it lasts like 30 seconds, and the producer, not producer, what the
like manager, road manager.
yeah, a manager of some kind, whether it's at the studio or whether it's for the band, just comes and just shoves you along, get your signature, get the hell out. I was like, and because I told myself, I said, never again, never again.
Was you disappointed in Maria Brink though, and her fine ass?
No, I wasn't disappointed at all.
See, it's like I don't know. That's a weird approach because I wouldn't really expect anything. Like I understand that you did, and that's justable. I mean, not to to get your
I didn't buy that
your
though.
little 10 seconds of fame though. You know what I'm saying? Like to get your little conversation in with them is cool. But see, I wouldn't be disappointed with that because I'm like, all right, this is everyday life to them. I'm nobody to them. That's that. But see, with Maria Brink, like I would only do it to people I had a crush on, like Maynard. I'd be like, yo, dude, so I just want to see this dude. He's a good looking dude. All right, later. Maria Brink, I'd just be like, I'll go all bashful. I don't know what to say. Hey,
I love your song.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I wouldn't ever pay, I guess, to meet her. I would just win her heart over with my charismatic fucking charm and meet her in like a restaurant. Oh, who are you? Oh, Maria Brink. Oh, in that moment.
I am feeling some Deftones though.
That's what
whenever
I'm
we
saying.
get back.
Say, in that moment, she'd be like, it's in this moment. Like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. How you doing though? We got married, and she's like, "I'm like 20 years older than you." I'm like, "Girl, come on, man.
I feel you.
I got a kid that's your age, but it doesn't matter, baby girl.
All right.
Shaving my balls for you, baby girl.
Just shaving my balls, baby boy.
Yeah. But yeah.
Go inside, watch some Always Sunny. All right, bro.
Well, all right.
Been good.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
No. Don't tell me what to do. Anarchy.